Jack is one of the hardest working, nicest people I've ever had the pleasure of working with, period. Him and his entire team are enormously talented, and their dedication to the project is second to none. And without them, Black Ops 2, 3, and 4 would have a completely different vibe.
Writing a score for a Black Ops game is challenging because there's a lot of music to write. You have to look at the 30,000-foot, view of what the entire game is. Brian will always joke that we have to get Jack everything, because he wants everything. He wants story, he wants art, he wants any videos, he wants taped conversations about how we're going to design the game. He wants all kinds of stuff, and I do. I love steeping myself into the game as far as I can to really understand what it is. And then I feel like before I write any notes, I'm all over every scrap of paper they can give me. Then I'll start writing because I feel like I've got it. My process for writing is very iterative. I start with usually a melody. I'm a very melodic composer. I love melody. I'm just writing and I keep making passes at it. I keep painting on the canvas and then just like a visual artist would do.
In Black Ops 4, we had a new challenge in that we didn't have a campaign to score, and almost all the music in these games gets developed in campaign and then branched out to the other parts of the game. This time we were going to try to ship 4 zombies maps. And unlike the campaign, the music in zombies is generally map specific. We don't really take round starts from one map and put them in another one unless there's a good reason for that. So we kind of had to work in a slightly different way than we had in the past, where we're looking more at the level environment and less at the characters for the most part.
Black Ops 4 instrumentation really doesn't matter as much as the variety of music to fit all the different maps that are coming out and to somehow figure out the cross-pollination between each one so that the themes travel from one map to another in sort of a seamless way. But I really do understand games and mechanics of games and how gamers perceive it. It's very much like an interactive movie to me. I approach it like it's a film, because when they're sitting there with, a lot of people have really elaborate setups, and they've got their headphones on, or they've got surround sound in their house or whatever. We want that to sound like a movie, and we want the experience to be that dramatic. So I don't always do only dark, Call of Duty music. Sometimes I'll do really emotional music, and I do that because I think everybody reacts to that no matter what, And if we find the right moments, it can really enhance the gameplay.
We developed the multiplayer themes much the same way we did everything else, which is we kind of paint the experience out. Like, this is how we want the player to feel. So the multiplayer theme, during the pre-match, we want to build anticipation. And then when you spawn in, we want to give you a rush of adrenaline. And even like the length of those is dictated by, how fast can I get across the map and engage? Because in multiplayer, especially competitive, you don't want music in the way. The second you have music playing in multiplayer, everybody just turns it off. So we optimized it by looking at the smallest map that we had and then sprinting across it and saying it's about 16 seconds.
When I get into the really dramatic cues that I have to write, nothing kind of communicates emotion the way that an orchestra does. And so we always, for some reason, we start off saying we're going to have a very little orchestra, right? And then, I'll write a bunch of sci-fi kind of, whatever, synth cues. And then the team will get them, and they're great, and they work great. And then there's one cue, this should be an orchestra cue, so I write the orchestra cue. Send that in, and they're like, can we do more of that? We like that. It's very epic, and nothing really does what the orchestra can do. So my initial idea for writing the zombie theme was, let's make it really scary and dark, And then I end up writing this sort of hero theme for the end of when they did the announcement on May 17th of the game. It was the Titanic movie. It's the intro cinematic for the game. And that cinematic about the last 30 seconds of it had this chord progression. And Brian, when he heard it, he called me right away and said, "That's the zombie theme." I was like, "Really? This hero thing?" He goes, "Yeah, it's awesome. We love it. It's awesome."
One of the awesome things about Jack is all of the different musicians that he knows, famous cellists, great guitar players, people who create new sounds for modern synths, and he's friends with all of them. So he has a billion ideas, and then he also knows the people who can help execute it. So he'll just send me stuff, especially for like the multiplayer stuff. He'll just send me finished tracks, and it's always like perfect.
And that's one of the great things about working with Treyarch is they just like what I'm doing to a certain point, and then they're trusting in terms of finishing. Like, go finish it. Like, this is great. You're on the right path. Go. Just go finish it. And they just let me do that. And so I just keep painting until I'm satisfied with it, or time runs out. There is that. I'd rather work with great people who do things way better than I do. You know, and with Black Ops, I get an opportunity all the time to work with the best people. You know, they don't, you know, Treyarch, Activision, they don't skimp when it comes to the quality of their music. And I'm so grateful for that because I really do put it to good use. The resources I receive to do that are put to the best test every single day that I'm working. And I feel like I always feel really good about what I'm delivering because I know that, you know, I put my best foot forward to make this music really entertaining for the player.